Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm fucking not gonna lie. I forgot the last time I practiced coding. I forgot exactly where I was in this shindig. So, let's practice. Dude, I type so fucking slow. Okay. Okay, let's start at this point because I don't remember it at all. Let's turn up the thingamabob. Let's test. I should probably play some sort of music, but I don't know what's allowed anymore. I tried doing the soundtrack by Twitch before and it kept showing up in the VODs. So I guess you'll have to listen to the sound of my voice. Ah. Ooh. Click. Not gonna lie, I have no idea what's going on in this coding. Actually crazy. I just need to get not even competent enough. I just need to practice enough where I can kind of get a basic understanding so I can start working on trying to code basic games in Godot. Oh, fingers. Why do you have to be so shit? Tests. Game. Play too many RPGs. Every time I see int instead of integer, I think of intelligence. It's a stat. Like, damn, we're fucking measuring the children's intelligence based on age. That's crazy, man. Okay. Let's move over to the next thing that you're showing. Shit. What's wrong with it? Eh. Oh, it's because I haven't started the next portion yet. It's really quick. Okay. Terrible at typing. Really terrible at it. Should probably get that one video game like The House of the Dead. Practice typing on that bad boy. Put that on my resume. I'm in the top 1,000 percentile in House of the Dead. Pretty badass, you know. Eh. I actually have to do. Yeah, I have to do this. I'm fucking idiot. Yeah, we're cooking. Let me cook. Also, this string is brought to you by nasal congestion. Fuck you, nose. Getting some mad nasal congestion, yo. Finally got it. Nice. Okay. On line 12, something fishy. 12. Oh, it's because it's not capitalized. Fixed it. Whoa, that's all it took. You learn something new every day. That's thinking of portals. Okay. Had to blow my nose. Yeah, I should probably like play music in the background. This is just me talking. Whoa. Okay. Book says remember it's always important to initialize your objects to the default value of sword. I'm not gonna read this out loud. It's just talking about the initialization of constructors. I'm not entirely sure what a constructor is, to be honest. I just know it's what I'm doing right now because that's what it says in the book. Class tests. That's exactly what I wrote down. For Gucci. But there's a better way to do this. By using an initialization list. Here's what we used to do. Here's what we used to do it now. Why didn't you do that from the start, you dumb bitch? Okay, let's talk about right here. What the fuck? That's exactly what I wrote down. What do you mean? Yeah, my nose has been fucking killing me today. Nice. Okay. So it says the better way of doing initialization would be the fuck? What do you mean by this? This made up. This ain't real. Help. Help. Someone's lying. What is this? This can't be real. Line 18 expecting. What I thought. It's actually saying you take that off. What do you mean? What do you fucking mean? Okay. And some fucking funky shit over here too. I don't understand this. What am I looking at? Student. Okay, it says student age is undefined. What the fuck? What's going on here? This shit's crazy. This shit can't be real. Wake me up from this nightmare. They have to be joshing me at this point. Yeah, they have to be joshing me. There's no fucking comma right there. But that's gotta just be a mistake. Look. This book has some mistakes here and there. Whenever you use this book as a resource, it does tend to fuck you over where there's a mistake. Okay. Well, saying that it's all made up. Huh. Ain't this a fucking bitch? Oh, you're not supposed to put semicolons right there. This code is a bit long. As we keep repeating the same code again and again, let's see if this code can be simplified by delegating constructors. You son of a bitch, you made me type all this out for no reason. What do you mean? Fuck. Yep. Start again. I start from... No. Start from here. Okay. Huh. Another mistake in this book. I give this one parentheses and a bracket. What do you... I'm a fucking idiot. What am I doing? I'm just gonna restart from scratch again. Fuck this shit. I ain't bitch made. Age. Student. Score. Get it right? Got it right. And so go over this really quick. Name. Age. Score. Bracket. That's it. Okay, that works out. So the first one, they very clearly fucked up bad. Test. You stop making that mistake. Test. Coding ain't. Why is coding so difficult? Why was I born with this basic ass brain? My God. Why'd you do this to your boy? Okay. Yeah. What's this code mean? Why is this code fucking flipping out over here? Let's test. Okay. Sick voice crack, by the way. String student. Student. Bro. What do you mean? 23. Okay. Probably there are some of these spaces. That doesn't fix the root issue. Put it back. Eh? That was the end of the lesson. What did I learn? Okay, never mind. It goes on. Okay, that was a little. What? It's yeah, no, let's move it on. Okay. So let's go ahead and save this really quick. Wait. F5. Oh, whoa. Yeah, look at that. I got some background. Console app. Let's name this one copy constructors and shallow and deep copy. Copy constructors. Destructards. Looks like I'm the real tard here. Yeah, my nose has been fucking killing me today. There we go. Never forget. STD. Okay. Yeah, let's read this. When we copy an object in C++, we create a new object from an existing one, as you might recall that we have already explained. Okay. Man, I really should have did some royalty-free music. Maybe I should make some more royalty-free music and make some really shit beats. Using the default way by compiler to copy objects by value can work well, but if you need to copy raw pointers, you may have a problem. Reason is that pointers will be copied, but not what they're pointing to, and this is what's called a shallow copy. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand what's going on. I'm clueless. But that sounds good on the mic. Just coughing. Right. Oh, what's up, Disgraced? Yeah, it's I mean, anything when it comes to coding is a good concept. The problem is, it's like I'm probably retaining like 20% of the information I'm reading right now. But it's like I'll be able to, the more I look at this and more I do this, the more easily I'll be able to recall. C++? It's fun. C++ is fun until you hit a wall. And then it's the equivalent of just banging your head against a wall till you figure it out. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm counting on, because that's what I've noticed. The more I practice this, like I may not know the exact terms, but I can kind of recall some of the information. That's what I'm counting on. Okay. At this point, you'll probably understand very well that constructors allocate allocate storage dynamically, while deconstructors free up memory when called. Okay. A lot of words. I think the biggest problem right now is because I got like a runny nose. My brain's distracted by the runny nose. It's crazy. Okay. So let's start writing out the code they give us. I have no idea what this code is. Looking at the book, learn C++ quickly from code quickly. Complete beginner's guide. No, I've done a couple lessons in my free time. So this is like a 200-page book, and I'm at 119 out of like 230. No, dude, I'm not. I didn't just pick a random page, throwing darts at the board. Salary. That'd be crazy. Okay. Private. Yeah, so the moment I saw this apostrophe, immediately I was like, pointer. So like, I am retaining a little bit of the information. But it's like, it's kind of one of those things where coding is you have to jump into it and just do it. You can read as many books, but if you're not putting any of it into practice, then you're just kind of dropping information slowly over time. Yeah, I'm just getting through the book. Then after I get through the book, I'm just going to go straight to Godot, start practicing there. Because a lot of this information is not going to pertain to C++ and Godot. Like a lot of this is server-based information, I think, towards the end of the book. But just practicing coding and writing down the code you're seeing, trying to rationalize it's just going to increase my understanding of it, hopefully. Really wish it would stop trying to correct this shit. I thought it was me the last time I practiced this and like shit hit the wall. But it turns out it's not me. The code just naturally corrects it into the incorrect way. Salary. Say that, but I don't think I'm comprehending what I'm down. Maybe I should write down the explanation right next to it as well. This is our raw pointer. Oops. It's supposed to be a comment. Okay. Yeah, I really screwed the pooch by not doing any background music, but to be fair, what would have been the background music is Soundtrack by Twitch, and that shit is broken. It does not work properly. So the only way to correct it is you have to uninstall both Twitch, the installer, which is a separate file from the actual thing. You have to get rid of your streaming platform, so like OBS, Streamlab. You have to uninstall that, uninstall Soundtrack by Twitch. Then you have to look for a specific file and delete it. Hate when shit like that happens. It's like McAfee in order to get rid of it from your computer. Not sure if you've ever had to get rid of McAfee from your computer. You have to go directly to their site and download the uninstaller. But McAfee uses a shit ton of your network. I don't want to say bandwidth, but it basically throttles your network, so you can't go to the site to download the uninstaller. It's ridiculous. Kind of confused why computer companies release computers with that pre-installed still. This is our destructos. constructor. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, dude, I'm only retaining like roughly 20% of this. It's bonkers. But everyone has a different learning style. I'm super jelly to those people that can just look at something like this and just understand it. It's extremely intelligent fucks. No offense to those people or those fucks. But not all built equal. Like, I know a guy with photographic memory. That shit's insane. True story. He's the reason why I hid my wallet every time I got drunk. Because he had a photographic memory. I was like, fuck. He's gonna find my wallet and remember all my information. I guess it's crazy though, because like it's not really saying too much about family history, but his family, genetically, he comes from one of the people that worked on I forgot what the Manhattan Project. Like, he actually has a plaque that they gave his family for it. Well, his grandpa. So I wonder if he just has more gray matter and if it's genetic, or it has to be genetic because he didn't really spend too much time trying in school, from my understanding. It's interesting how it works and how like a large portion of your intelligence is really just based off of how much gray matter you have. It's going to be dystopian in the future. Getting your gray matter pre-examined, and then that being the only way you can learn anything you want to. Not enough gray matter, just straight to the gallows. That's interesting to me. This is a deep coffee. But it's possible for you to grow gray matter, right? Just by consistently reading. But I played a lot of video games and wasted my time, so I guess I'll forever have average gray matter. Oh my god, this fucking lesson, this is where it ended. What do you mean? Also, it corrected itself right there. Interesting. So integer pointer sum. This is our raw pointer. What's a constructor do again? Google down C++ really. No, sometimes you run programs. Sometimes a lesson just gives you an example what something would look like in this book. This is like the third time since the beginning of the stream that it's done this. It seems like the more complex something is, the less likely they're going to show you have you code the finished product. Constructor has the same name as the class but has no return value. Constructors are methods that are automatically executed every time you create an object. Okay, you just make an object and assign values, that's it. It's the same name as a class, it just does this automatically. So I'm guessing the way constructors work is you have them pre-set up so that whenever you load up, I forgot what it's called, they're like H files. It's the ones where it's like H files and PCH files. But basically, whenever you start coding, you can just load this up automatically. So you can bring values over. And deconstructors take that away. Yeah. Something like that. Okay, let's start the next passage. I guess we're just moving on. So it has a more complete example immediately following, so that's what we're looking at. Dude, I'm doing this shit in the most getaway possible. I don't know, you gotta start somewhere. I'm basically doing the equivalent of dunking and dribbling the basketball right now. And I'm dunking with trampolines, getting ready for the big game. But I'm not playing basketball during practice, only using trampolines. Okay, nothing in main yet. You can see that it's simple to initialize the newly created attributes using source object attributes. By this point, you probably understand very well that the constructors allocate storage dynamically. Remember when I asked? Literally 2 sentences down. Jesus. Well, deconstructors free up memory when called. Copy, we can use a shallow copy or deep copy as mentioned earlier. A shallow copy is the default copy method. The problem with it starts when copying raw pointers, as the copy copies the pointer itself and not what it's pointing to. So shallow copies copy, but they'll copy the pointer, but they won't copy what it's pointing to. Gotcha. Note to self, forget that in 5 minutes. When we release the storage of one of the objects by using the deconstructor, what do you think will happen? Well, if you think that the second object, which is copied, still points to the same storage while the storage is no longer valid, then you are correct. The way to avoid this is to use deep copy, which doesn't only copy the pointer, but also the data the pointer is pointing to while it allocates storage on the heap. Let's look at the example. A lot of words. Probably should have taken that speech class where they teach you how to do public speaking. That's on me. Pretty thick-headed, just in general. Like, I can learn stuff, but, you know, anything with sufficient brain capacity can learn stuff. Right? Why do you correct yourself in the wrong way? Like, the only reason why I didn't go to college in high school, other than, or after high school, not only was it because, like, just an unstable environment, was because I didn't know that you could apply for grants. True story, I thought, like, schools kind of threw, like, darts at a board. If you were chosen for a grant, you were allowed it. And if you weren't chosen, then you weren't. So when I didn't receive any mail explaining that, or any mail that said I got grants, it's like, oh, guess I gotta save up. Should have probably talked to the school counselor. Yeah, see, they just gave you grants. Also didn't try in school. I was I think I was ranked number 15. No, I was ranked 21st in my grade. Used to be really good at math. Yeah, but then when I saved up for college, life happened. Adulting's crazy. It's gonna correct itself in a stupid way. Just watch. Well, the best part about going bankrupt because of schools is that you can't foreclose on like student loan debt, right? Because you can't lose education. Not yet, at least. Not until it gets lobotomies get approved by the government. That's a crazy concept. What if like they start doing open lobotomies? Okay. I think the craziest part is like minimum wage has only gone up like 33% in like the last 30 years, 40 years. Like student loan debt's gone up about 300%, right? Our student college prices have gone up about 300 to like 1,000%, depending on the schools. That's a crazy concept right there. I'm pretty sure the U.S. government just approved like the erasure of $81 billion worth of debt. Debt in the U.S. is a crazy concept. That's also because the U.S. was literally built off of debt. I think the U.S. has only not been in debt like twice in history. That's a debt-based society because they use debt as leverage. If you think about it, that's how America really started. The first immigrants to the U.S., other than a couple property owners, were people that owed large amounts of money to property owners. It's a weird concept when you think about it. Pointer, constructor. Why they copy the constructor? Probably a future issue coding. Constructor. Dog's licking its no balls in the background, being loud as fuck. See, I was laying down earlier. Dog started licking its no balls right next to my ear. It's like, what the fuck? Excuse me. Yeah, look away. Dog fucking donkey kicked me this morning in the stomach. Crazy dog. He threw the blanket over his head, and then he started doing that dog thing where he just started freaking out. So he started freaking out and he just kicked me straight in the stomach. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, I wish I would have tried learning how to code way earlier, though. I had a friend that was really into coding. Pretty sure he works for the government. He does some like, I think network security. I think that's what he does. I'm probably wrong. Start again. Let's write some notes. That way we can pretend to understand what's going on. Okay, finally get a coded destructor. That's cool. Technically, based on the fact that I've already done this coding type before, this is the first time they labeled it as deconstructor in the actual lesson. It's pretty tight. Let's see how this class will look when we use deep copy. Huh. Wait. Swag. That's an interesting thing, the way that's utilized in the US though. I know that a lot of companies use it as leverage. I think Goldman Sachs is like 100 times over leveraged right now. Either Goldman Sachs, I'm pretty sure it's Goldman Sachs, are like 100% or 100 times over leveraged, which means they have like a couple billion assets under their name, but they have trillions of dollars worth of debt via derivatives. It's a crazy concept. You work for Goldman Sachs. Sorry for the news. But then, you know, it's also like you probably already know. I think most people that work in the banking sector aren't exactly ignorant to what goes on in the field. Maybe at the bottom of the totem pole, but in the middle, top of the totem pole, you're not really gonna see as much ignorance. I mean, if you do see ignorance, it's willful ignorant, where they have an idea that something's going on, they just don't have confirmation. Yeah. Well, that's just another resource. I know the SEC is being sued right now. I mean, I'm assuming they're being sued all the time, though. I know they're being sued right now specifically because one of their policies increased or decreases time for reporting for big money entities, so market makers, hedge funds, banks, and I think large investors. So they're trying to put in that new policy and they're being sued to prevent that from happening. Okay. I'm reading this. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what I'm looking at. So I know this is a raw pointer because it's labeled as such. This is the integer that's assigned. Copy of the constructor. Not entirely sure what that's for. I know what this is for. That's to get rid of this constructor. Spelled storage. That's kind of embarrassing. Okay. I'm telling you, they wait till I look away, and they do that correction, which isn't correct. That's the end of the lesson. Well, fuck. Guess I just save and move on. One thing I didn't know when you use Visual Studio to code is that you have to close out of the tab that you're currently coding, because if you don't, it'll create issues whenever you create a new file. It'll save under the same file name. So you'll just have a heap of files saved under there, and it like will sometimes bug out where it's asking for the former file, but since it's not actually the same file, it will just say like this. It'll say like this part of the code doesn't work properly. Ooh, semantics. What the fuck? Earlier we explained the concept of L value and R value. We explained that L value holds specific locations in memory which you can access with a pointer. For example, int sum 50 in brackets, semicolon, sum is a L value. String name Sean, semicolon, Sean in brackets, name is an L value. So you can assign values to things. I don't know what it would be called. It's right next. It's not a variable. It's not a class either. Not that I don't think it's a class. I should have probably learned the terms better. Probably would have been helpful. R values are not addressable and not assignable. R values are found on the right hand side of an assignment statement and they will always be literals. In some cases, the C++ compiler creates a temporary value. For example, if we sum two integers together, the result will be stored in a temp value. This can work well, however, when we talk about raw pointers, or even copying multiple objects using decopy. I'm not breathing out my nose. Holy fuck, I was running out of breath. Jesus Christ, I almost died. I played football. I almost died just talking. What are we doing? This is where move semantics or move constructors come to the picture. Move semantics address the R value and it is not considered a bit advanced for C++ beginners. It is considered a bit, not is not. This is why we will not dive very deep in the subject, but explain the general concept. Okay. So R values are just temporary values, while L's we declare. Makes sense. So R's are notified by double ampersands. Oh, the single ampersands were the fucking L values. See? To be fair, I didn't know they were called ampersands to begin with. Oh. Learn something new every day. Now they're just doing examples. Might as well write the examples down. Sure, why not? It's one of the issues I had in school is I have a habit of just following the line directly whenever they give me assignments, and I never finished assignments. I just did the assignment until I understood what it was and didn't just ace the test afterwards. Lazy. Okay. Well, yeah, I need to start typing faster. Typing speed is slow. L value. Stop correcting in the wrong spot. Are you kidding me? So why do you have to be this way? This looks like libel and this looks like rival. Plus sign, that's inappropriate. So that's a temporary value. This is the assigned value. This is me assigning it a value of I. I'm not too sure why it says I and 4, because technically it would be 50. Unless this is me assigning I over here a value of 4. I think that's what it's saying. Yep, we changed I to 4. That's right. See, he is learning. I'm getting to the point where whenever I like look at coding, I don't fully grasp what I'm looking at. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, I've seen that before. It's an equal sign. I'm a genius. Feels good, man. Like I'll see coding. Yeah, when you look at other people's codes. Yeah, I mean, it feels nice. It's like I tried learning Korean. Hanguk. I think that's either I just said something slightly racist or I just said Korea in Korean. But I'd be watching like not K-pop, but there's a variety show called Knowing Bros. And I'd be watching that, and then someone will say Anasio, and I'm like, oh, I know that word. Hello. No one says psyche though, which means bitch. Yeah, dude, I feel like you're gonna be, if you ever like get a job that has to do with coding, you're kind of forced to code in the person above you's coding style. Ooh, it's letting me execute. So let's code this one. I haven't executed in so long. Miss it. It's gonna do the correction, but that's not correct. Wish I would stop doing that. Rizzles. Yeah. So it is like that though. So you have to try to. It's kind of like whenever you're proofreading someone else's essay, and whenever you try to help them make corrections, you kind of have to do the wording the way they would word it. Like I used to help my little sister with her homework. She would try copying things word for word whenever I would assist her, and it's like you can't do that because that's not at all what you would write. You don't have an understanding to what I'm saying. That's just simplified, but I don't know. This will result in a compilation error as I is an L value and we expect an R value in our function. Well, seeing as they're telling me to code this with nothing else, I would assume this whole thing is going to be an error. Also, it says there's 5 errors. So calc numbers changing the R value. Then we change the R value Didn't. That's a lie. Yep. Sounds about right. Just following the orders, Chief. Remember when I got excited that we were going to execute something and just... What's this? Whoa. What a trip. Okay. Nice, we gotta restart this whole thing. Fantastic. Class. Bullet. Let's put another space there, just for good measure. Okay. True story though, if you're really into coding, you like comedies, you should definitely watch Silicon Valley. Parody of Silicon Valley. It's really funny. It's got one of my favorite scenes ever in a comedy, just in general. So one guy, one of the main characters is like, he hired I guess it'd be a freelancing coder who just happened to be a 16-year-old kid addicted to Adderall. Right? And he tried buying Adderall from a bunch of school kids and they like sold him candy. So he's crying, his friend sees it, follows him to the kids and just starts beating the shit out of one of the kids and throws their bike. It's fucking hilarious. It's one of those you have to see it to fully comprehend just how deranged that scene is. The humor style is very similar to the movie Superbad, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Okay. This is pointer. Just adding these notes. Just consistently is how you learn. By consistently pointing out which one's my pointer, it just makes it easier in the future for my brain to draw a conclusion. Although, if in the future I'm working with pointers, I should probably know that what I'm coding before I code it. It'd be really weird if a pointer just showed up out of nowhere. Like a jump scare. Thought it was a Volkswagen commercial. Nope. Jump scare. That's also another... what would be a flashback of the past. Don't know if you remember that original viral Volkswagen commercial jump scare. Where it starts like a car commercial and then like a zombie just appears on the screen. Just yelling. That's how you know you're getting old. You just talk about the past. I would talk about now, but I have no idea what's going on. For a shitty Scottish accent. What's going on here? If you've never seen Superbad, it's like a very good summation of 90s comedy. Or not 90s, but comedies based around the 90s. But they don't throw it in the face that it's 90s. Like Juno. Instead, it's more 90s is the era, but the comedy is just bonkers. If you're talking about Silicon Valley, it's just a very solid TV show. Although it does kind of drag at certain bits. Like there's a couple parts where like a character, he wasn't sure if he was going to continue acting in the TV show, so they left it open. What the fuck's wrong? It says 13. Eh. Let's just keep moving on. So they left it open if he was going to return or not, and then he ended up returning. And there's another character. He had a mental breakdown in real life, so they just killed him off in the series. Just straight up killed him off. They don't tell you that he's dead for sure until like the very end. You do this. Silicon Valley is definitely worth a watch if you're wanting to watch a tech comedy. It's viral moments, the what do they call it? Middle out coding style. So basically, it's algorithms. I think it's cloud-based algorithms where instead of data going from point A to point B, data is constantly moving out from a centerpiece. So we'll call it like point C. So it's like constantly storing data and then sending it out from like a central area. Yeah, mental disease isn't a joke. Like I think the actor's name was T.J. Miller. So he was going through a manic episode because I think he had like a tumor in his brain, so he had like severe brain damage on top of doing drugs. So he was just literally fucking manic. It's saying there's a lot of problems. And whenever I look at the code, yeah. Yeah, there is. They wrote down though. I'm just following orders. Yeah, it's crazy how like random brain aneurysms are. No, it wasn't brain cancer. He had like a brain aneurysm. Like a whole portion of his brain wasn't functioning. And he was like also doing a shit ton of drugs. I think that's what it was. The fuck? It just says Maine. It doesn't even say Int Maine over here. Yep, let's do it. You the boss book. It's like Aubrey Plaza if you ever watch Parks and Recreation. She had like a brain aneurysm at the age of 20. I think it was just erupt. Basically, she had a stroke and she's always been weird. So like her friends thought she was just fucking with them, and she's no, she's just fucking going crazy. It's fucking bonkers. I like to believe that that's been a persistent issue throughout human history. Not just brain aneurysms and strokes, but like diseases not being taken seriously. And yeah. Like I believe a lot of ghost and demon related shit is more related to mold than people would like to think. It had me do all this coding, and it's like it doesn't know what it wants. What do you want? Okay, it wants to change this to an R constructor for some reason. Sure, why not? Okay, that's wallet, private int, pointer sum, public, void set value index. Looks clean. Wallet, wallet const wallet, R value source, deconstructor wallet, wallet, const. Okay, this is where shit starts getting crazy up in here. It's right here. We're going live. Fuck it. Damn. It's crazy. No. I gotta get rid of const. Sum equals. Now sum's capital. Hopefully that doesn't cause an issue in the future. I don't feel safe doing sum equals with a capital S. Seems like witchcraft. Like that might have just been a spelling mistake on the part of this book. It's gonna come back to bite me. This wouldn't be a spelling mistake, it'd be more of a grammar error. Dot sum equals null pointer. Let's write down the notes. Now I like to believe though, because I think someone did a study in areas where there's high reports of seeing ghosts. There's also a high amount of mold. So I like to believe, because we do know that mold does have a psychological effect, right? So there's various mushrooms that can cause hallucinations. So fungi, that whole shindig. I like to believe that a lot of ghosts are just hallucinations, right? It'd be pretty cool if there was like kind of like The Last of Us, but instead of the infected fungi people trying to eat other people, the infected fungal people just tries to like lure people so they can keep growing and learning more about humanity. And it lures them by like showing them the ones that died and shit like that. If you think about it, fungus are kind of just like genetic storage devices in a way, because I think fungi are. It's possible for fungi to be like related to every single creature on the planet. In a way, we're kind of like fungus people. Okay, that was it. This is the whole thing. Pretty sure this is the mistake. Let's lowercase that bad boy. Okay. Static class members. Oh. I think any horror movie where the bad guy is intangible in a way, those are typically more interesting, just in general. Because I feel like if one of the things that takes away from horror is if the bad guy is something that could be fought off. Because then the key to fighting the bad guy is fighting the bad guy. Right? Like, it's scary to face a guy with a gun. But it's a lot less scary to face a guy with a gun when you're also armed with a gun or a weapon. So, like, White Noise. In White Noise, the enemy was basically static ghost. Intangible creatures, once you heard it, they start hunting you down. The Grudge, it's an evil spirit that can phase through walls, usually comes from shadows. Like, these are creatures you can't directly fight. And I think that shit's way scarier. But, like, in The Last of Us, basically it's just like you see something and shoot it. There's a 50% chance that thing was trying to kill you. In C++, we can declare static functions and class members. This basically means that the data members or functions belong to the class rather than a specific object. For example, if we want to know how many bank accounts we have so far, we can create a global variable that is incremented or decremented. That's not a word. Whenever an account is opened or closed. It sounds easy and clear. Still, it can be complex when there are constructors and destructors involved. A much better way would be to declare a static variable that would be part of the account class. It would be called using the class name whenever we need to use it. Oh, dude. Keep forgetting to breathe while talking. Jesus. How come? I don't understand. You can, if you're just talking, you're breathing naturally while doing it. If you're reading, you have to be conscious of that shit. Why? Is it because you can't think? So if you look at something, you're thinking, so your brain doesn't have as much, like, room for breathing? I don't know. When a static variable is used in all instances of the class, this variable will share the same memory, so it doesn't matter who uses the class in a given program, as the content and values will be the same for all. Let's see an example. Okay, I think, yeah, this one goes a long way. Class libbook. That's embarrassing. I misspelled class. Oh my god, I misspelled it again. Static book. Yeah, I just feel like, I mean, I guess that's the reason. Didn't I just fuck up bad? What am I doing? What the fuck? Static pointer cast. What is that? What is it? What am I doing? Let's just erase that. Act like this part of our life never happened. But there's definitely been a lean in on no combat in horror games in recent histories. I think the only horror game genre that for sure does fighting is Resident Evil at the moment. And it honestly leans more towards action than horror. Let's add the notes. Static book gnome. Looks correct. Okay. I'm losing my mind. I can't spell worth a damn anymore. Bill. I forgot to include the part. Keyword integer. Compiler will check static keyword for function data. I've never seen a libbook before in my life. That's fake news. Cannot open source file. That's not a real book. It's a lie. It says we need to use the libbook.cpp file. What do you mean? You never had that. It's also including a file directly underneath it. I don't think that's proper. The lesson doesn't have us define the header file, and it never included that we needed to download one either. Whatever, you the boss. We'll never be able to compile this, but you're goddamn Skippy. Not you, disgrace. This book definitely has a lot of mistakes. Almost like a libbook over here. Now, I had a couple issues in the earlier chapters, which is one of the biggest reasons why I stalled doing this for a while. Because I got stuck and I was like, oh my god, what do I do? Turns out it wasn't my, well, I mean, it probably was my fault a little bit, but, you know. It's crazy talk. What? Okay. I'm not mad. Just really disappointed. This is what I mean. This is why it's like I kind of had to develop the truck through this mindset for this, because you see that shit and then you just get tilted. You're like, okay, that's not real. That's not OSHA approved. Fucking need some milk. Doing. Yep, completely tilted off the place. That's how tilted I am. Jesus. This is temporary. It's temporary. When I move the go dot, be way harder. And no clear directions. I never said anything about atomic bulls. You know what this kind of feels like a little bit? Whenever you just look at the back of the book for the answers. So a lot of math books would give you every other odd answer or something like that. That's what this kind of reminds me of. Where like you're trying to show your work, but it doesn't show work, so you're just like, you know, you're just spitballing. Okay. Okay. So it does continue, and it does have a export, or what's it called? Compile for this. But obviously we won't be able to do the compile because we don't have libbook holder or libbook.h. Okay. This is probably like nonsense. Especially if you have like any coding knowledge, you're probably looking at this and be like, I have no idea. Try taking out the include. It might actually work without the include. Let's take this out and just move this down twice. I don't think it'll work with this, right? I don't think that'll work, but... Oh, move it under the class definition. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. It's like with pch.h. So I'm pretty sure Virtual Studio has that built in now, so you don't actually have to include that file. Maybe I should just include this at the very bottom, right? Int libbook number equals 0. Huh. Let's just leave it there for now. It'll tell us if it'll cause an issue in the future. Like it's causing an issue right now. But let's just continue on with this really quick. You can clean it up later. Book. Let's do an extra space. Just don't want it to be that close. Okay. Okay. I kind of understand this next part. Book number plus or plus book number. I think it literally just translates to plus the number of the book. Wrote with the lowercase. Ooh. How consistent is it? Yeah. Good find. Look at that. We're making a comeback. I fixed it too. Nice. Yeah, no, the case thing's fairly common occurrence. I had the same mistake earlier, but I found it myself. So proud of myself. Actually, I wasn't. No, I actually was. I was like, yeah, I found that. I'm a genius. Look at me. Just gonna send this whole code to my mom and be like, I did this. I wrote it straight from a book I'm reading. Proud of me. Probably message like, stop talking to me. It's gonna be so cool. You can see all these make perfect sense and can become very helpful in your code. Now let's move further and write a simple function that will check the number of borrowed books in our case. Function will not return any values. It's a null function since we just want the function to print the current number of borrowed books. Okay, that was a lot of words. Let's actually do another space here while we're at it. It's supposed to be a space there. I don't think it matters if there's a space there, honestly. Let's... Why isn't this highlighted? What's going on? It probably means nothing. Or it means a lot. Who knows? You'll find out in a moment. My fingers are starting to slow down. Brain's getting oversaturated. My brain's hitting its breaking point. Can't comprehend what's going on. That's actually a real thing. I didn't know that, but you try forcing yourself to learn information, turns out your brain starts like rejecting at a certain point. Your brain's like, oh, nah, we're not learning. Didn't figure that out till recently when I tried learning how to code. My brain literally just was like, no. No, stop. Okay. Books. Got some notes down here too. This will display 0 books. It's crazy that this is like the first book I've read in a year. The last book I read was Beyond Good and Evil. I think so. It's from like Frank Nishi. That's what it is. No, the last book I read was The Communist Manifesto. I just wanted to read it because it's super popular. Wanted to see what the hype was about. Very idealistic. I think at the end it actually mentions the fact that it's idealistic too. It just straight up says this book would only make sense in a situation where it's a utopian society. Could be wrong. I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure it says that. Okay. It's colon name space name val comma serial val semi or bracket plus plus book num. What do you mean? It's saying this isn't allowed? This is America. What do you mean? Why is it fighting me on this? So 20. Yeah. It says no instance of overloaded function. Scroll over it. Plus 3 overload. Alt enter. That's crazy talk. Let's try to output it, see if something happens. Okay, it says there's building errors. Makes sense. Follow it to the T right here. Tells me to do that. That shouldn't do anything, especially. Do I need to declare the class variable's name and serial also? I have no idea. I wrote it word for word straight from the book. Just expected this. But that shouldn't be necessary. That ends up doing more harm than good. This would be private variables, the class definition. Huh. Remember that part where it says it makes perfect sense? It didn't make perfect sense. It actually made the opposite of perfect sense. Under private, you need string name and serial. String. I could try putting under private. Not sure if that would do anything, but what did I do? Okay, first off, let's just undo all that. I said string name, so string. Semicolon. I'm pretty sure what I'm doing right here is wrong. Pretty much the equivalent of heresy. just be the string name. Okay. What do you mean? Expected a semicolon. I gave you a semicolon. Okay. Huh. Is this is this what I have to look forward to in the future? Oh. Line 7 needs a semicolon too. Go ahead and give it one, even though it doesn't ask. Hey! That did something. It did ask. I just missed it. Boy, do I look foolish. Oh. Still saying there's issues with line 21. Serial bell. Said it should say string name without any quotes. Oh. Should say and serial. It's looking right. No instance of overloaded function libbook matches the specified type. You know what I think the issue is? Yes. Okay. Overloaded function. Did I like not showing consistency in libbook? Pretty sure I am. I think this book's just wrong. I like legitimately believe it, but I could be wrong. But I'm starting to think the code's just wrong because I don't know if this is correct either. They have another example of it earlier in this book. Yeah, I just think this book is legitimately incorrect in its this, which would make this whole section kind of pointless in its own little way. D3. Why is it saying that it requires an extra one of these brackets? Is it also saying it needs a close? Doesn't make sense. It's telling me that I need to close this because that shouldn't make sense because that separates the lib books from the rest of this. That causes more issues than no issues. Move line 23 into the constructor brackets. Sure. I think that's constructor brackets. Yeah, that broke it. Yeah, let's just go with that. I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be the simplified version. Okay. Wait. The fuck? How would that look? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, I feel like my brain's about to fry. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, value. Name would be name equals. Could I do name equals name value and it makes sense? Yeah, sure, let's try it. Okay. Cool. Does that make any sense? Yeah, sometimes this book's just completely incorrect and it's what's coding. And in that case, it's like you just have to move. Should be serial equals serial val. That actually makes more sense than what I just did. Because an unassigned int would just be, I guess, the closest integer that would fill in. Closest integer that would match it. There's only one integer. I think it just assigns it to that. So I guess it may, now it wouldn't work because libbook is also an integer. Might work. 36 has a spelling error. Get book. Oh, did something. I removed something. 4 has an issue. Name val there. Okay, 22. 42. I think we got 42 right. That shouldn't be an issue. Space right there. It says no instance of constructor libbook matches the argument list. Oh. .22 is stating that there's no overloaded function, but it's also saying there's 3 overloads connected to it. So the way it should be working is it should be giving us Treasure Island as, I guess it would be the name value, right? So the name would be Treasure Island, then it would sign a serial. There's no serial number. Yeah, they never assigned it. Isn't that what the book number is supposed to do, though? Isn't this supposed to? No, it's not. It's supposed to assign a value to the book for returns. Okay, let's assign a value. Let's try it. Okay. Nothing happened. Nice. That was a good effort. Yeah, book number is static. And it's supposed to... Oh, fuck, what? Oh, my brain. What am I doing? This is what it felt like being one of those rain dancers. I'm just over here racking my brain, swinging my arms, hoping that that fixes something. It's probably a little bit of both. So it's like my understanding's not deep enough to be working at this level, but the book's also really bad at not just explaining, but having the code down properly from the start. Just causing an issue. I'm gonna rewrite that maybe. How come squiggly line lib book registers, but non-squiggly line doesn't? Let's go here really quick. Loaded function. Line 22. It says libbook. It's saying there's no instance of an overloaded function. And I'm not fully understanding what it means by overloaded function, so I'm just Googling what that means. Wow. Oh shit, it is that, huh? So it's basically whenever you use like both an integer and a string assigned to the function, right? That's what an overloaded. Okay. And it should be overloaded because static and string name. We got the integer here. So we got 3 different integers, so it is overloaded. But maybe it's saying there's no instance of it being used as overloaded. This might be crazy then. Let's change serial to double. Because it'd make more sense for it to be double with 1, 2, 3. Well, I mean, pretty sure an integer could also do that. Right? That didn't do anything. Public, I can add a line. Okay, let's try that. We're just spitballing. Lib book name val serial val. Ooh, that fixed one of them. That's crazy. Why wouldn't they say that from what? Why wouldn't they have that included if that fixes a major component of the code? Need to change line 23 back, yeah. Change these both back to int. I thought maybe double would do something. Didn't even make sense, honestly. Okay, it worked. Oh my god. You're a genius. There were errors in the builds. Nice. Hey, it's passable. Libbook cannot be defined. Cannot define a compiler generated special member function must be declared in the first class. There's just no issues though. Oh my god. It hates my deconstructor. Wait a minute. Did that fix it? Obviously not. Okay, let's go ahead and declare the deconstructor too while we're at it. Okay. So. I would also do this, huh? Nope. Invalid deconstructor. So it's implying that it's a valid deconstructor down there, but it's not valid if I attempt to do it up here. Check spelling on line 13. I'll try it again. Saying it's a problem in 30. Even though it'd be line 31 now. We don't talk about it. Hey, it fucking worked. Whoa. You can't see it. Wait. Yeah, that's okay. No capture. Wait. Gotta see the result. There we go. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? Yeah, it's a memory address, but it's ready to ship out. You know what I'm saying? You get a job somewhere, your code is right, hand that to your manager, that's a them problem. Yeah, if it compiles the chips. Then once it becomes an issue and like it becomes massively reported, then you know it becomes management's problem. They'll put like a senior on there. It's like, how could you ship this? How could you ship this without running it by us first? We're gonna remember this. We're gonna hold this against you. It makes a little bit more sense. It's like the more you practice, the more sense it makes, right? So it's like, would I be able to explain that to someone? No. Would I be able to call an audible and fix that on my own? Probably not. But would I eventually be able to solve it a lot easier in the future whenever this reoccurs again? Probably also no. Nope, not including. But we're learning. A broken clock's right 2 times a day, right? Just need to activate the broken clock in me. Yeah, so one of the things in this book is this book tries skipping some work. But it's like if I had a better understanding, I would have been able to notice it like you did right there. But also this book has a vendetta against including all the information necessary in when it comes to like defining it. Because this isn't the first time where the compile error was like this isn't defined or it's missing some information. It's a pretty bad book. It's like a good enough book. It's the GED of coding books. Okay, let's do one more section before we call it a night. Oh, fuck. I just turned the page and I saw the future stuff. Oh my god, that's way scarier. Fucking polymorphism. I like Animorph. Is the book gonna turn into a falcon? Okay. So once you get to about page 150, it's just exercises. Smart point. Oh, there's an advanced section. Polymorphism. Just turn to a random page and it just shows a compiled chocolate has been acquired. My white chocolate is not null. My dark chocolate is null. Ownership transferred. My white chocolate is null. My dark chocolate is not null. Chocolate has been destroyed. Okay. That sounds like a really bad poem. If I'm a really weird guy that's really into coding based poetry. Jesus Christ. Feels like I'm pretty close to being done with the supposed learning of fundamentals. Okay. This keyword. He he here we want to provide a quick overview of one of the keywords often used in C++ within the scope of a class, and only within this scope. In cases where only a single copy of each member function exists, it is used by multiple objects, we need a way for data members to be accessed and updated. This keyword is actually a pointer that points to an object and can be used by non-static class members in order to determine if two objects are the same. Access data members, methods, and more. Eventually, I'll be able to breathe while talking. If you know any other programming language, you probably know the keyword self, which is equivalent to this. I've seen self. I've used self before. Let's look at an example. Here's our account class. It is ambiguous as we are using parameter deposits for both identifiers with the same name. Okay. This one doesn't have an actual compile. So it looks like we'll be doing one after this. Okay, but let's code it anyways. I like how this whole night, coding for about 2.5 hours, we've only had one compile. Good call on that one though. Void balance. Deposit. Double deposit. I spelled deposit right? I think so. So it's supposed to be in downslide. I don't know what it's called. Bottom line. Yeah. Now the example or the exercises look very. It looks like once you get to the exercises, the book's like, we're going to go through step by step of what you've learned so far. You didn't see that? I just moved my hand left and right 4 times for some odd reason. It's like trying to look at the book I'm reading. And then I looked at it, moved my hand so I could look at it from a different angle. I'm losing my mind. Deposit. I know how to spell deposit, but I keep second guessing myself if I know how to spell it. Oh no. Okay. What's the error this time? Fair enough. Now let's do this by pointer, which helps us solve ambiguity for the identifier we use. Don't know if I used the right word, but it sounds right. It can be taught. Sit. Sit. I can already feel though my brain's getting really close to its like learning limit when it comes to coding. This arrow. I don't think that's OSHA approved. I've never seen an arrow before in coding in my life without it being within quotation marks. Do the boss book. Okay, I guess it worked. Well, don't I look foolish? That's called the dereference operator. Okay. Now we got a name for the madness. Dereference operator. Okay. So, okay, it's a real thing. I'm not just crazy. I've actually never seen that in coding though. But to be fair, I haven't really seen much coding. There is a guy on YouTube. It's like Pirate Software. Sometimes he will show coding because I think he's making a game called Heartbound. He used to work for Blizzard. But yeah, I haven't seen that arrow yet. It is. Speed class or namespace. This may only be used inside a non-static member function. Expected a member name. Seems like this is just a portion of a code and not a complete code. .11 doesn't look right. Yeah, it definitely does. This is exactly how it's written in the book. Actually, there's no space. This is how it's written in the book. No, it's not. What? Where did it go? There. The fuck? Just totally erased the whole deposit in my brain. Nope, they didn't include a class definition either. Oh, it actually goes on. It can be useful to use this pointer to order to check this pointer in order to check and determine the identity of an object. For example, checking if two objects are the same. We do this by comparing this and the address of the other. The and other object. Let's review an example where the balance function returns the balance of a given account we refer to as other. Okay. The fuck? What does this mean? This book's crazy. But we're just doing this so that we can kind of get a foundation. Even if it's wrong, once we start working in Godot, we'll be able to kind of figure some of this out. This is more just to set up a foundation where kind of know what some of the stuff looks like or how it's used. It's gonna fuck me over. It's gonna move that and sign. Or whatever it's called, and other. See? Told you. I'm always watching. If this there's no arrow. There. Count. This is the same count. Counts dot compare and count. This is the full code. Yeah, these people are fucking crazy. This is. But at least we learned about. What's the name of it again? Dereference. At least we learned about dereferences. We could use this to like pull out information or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to do it manually a couple times before I'm 100% sure on that. But yeah, this was this code right here was bonkers. How's this other one look? It's all asterisks on my screen. It goes back to the library book? What do you mean? Okay. Kidding me? What the fuck? Remember how we were having all those issues with the library book earlier? Well, I guess it adds additional code to help define it a whole page and a half after. Yeah, it goes back. But it also like branches out too. This whole thing is same returns piece serial number. It's calling this a friend. Yeah. Okay, bud. Okay. You'll just pretend like the rest of this section is not real. Yeah, my brain's at its limit. When it comes to coding, I'm gonna practice Gaelic later. Gaelic's actually really easy to, well, I'm not gonna say really easy to learn, but it's pretty easy. Because it's very similar to English. This is gonna be off topic. It's gonna be a way to finish the stream. But just be like, I think it's cha. Cha toil lame sin a deer. Right? So that translates to like I do not like that at all. Chalatolim, Chian. And a deer isn't spelled like, or sounds like a deer. It sounds like you're trying to call someone an idiot, but with a G. So it's like a G. A G. Hot. Home. Home. Snog. Agus. Home snog agus. More. Home snog agus more. I'm nice and big. For the ladies. But yeah, we're just gonna end it there. That last one just fucking wriggled my brain. Yeah, see, that was the problem when I tried learning how to code before, though. Sometimes this book gets certain sections where it just... something's not right with the book. Either it's not explaining it properly or it's insufficient information. And when that happens, it just... my mind starts melting. But, Disgrace, thanks for the help. Real save when it came to adding... just fixing that code. Like, you fixed that code. But, I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks for the help. I really appreciated that.